Hey Always in Stitches viewers, I'm Cappy and you are watching Always in Stitches. Peter's behind the camera. Say hi, Peter.
Hi everybody.
And we have heard your call. You've made it abundantly clear that you did not want us to stop doing our weekly videos, and so we will be doing weekly videos, but we're going to change them up a little bit. I'm going to try and show you a technique. I'm going to give you some techniques on things that we have as well. You get me and you get Peter. We're going to give you our best, and today I want to talk to you about half square triangles because I don't know of a single quilt I've ever made that didn't have at least one half square triangle in it. I mean, they are the foundation for every quilt you'll ever make, and there's a bazillion ways to make them. I have my favorite, you probably have your favorite. I'm going to show you some of those options and some of the tools that you can get to make that happen, and how to cut them and how to get accuracy, because at the end of the day, the thing that makes your quilt stand out for you personally, and it's the goal, is accuracy and those perfect little points, and that has to do with cutting correctly and sewing correctly so that your project turns out as good as it can be. And I'm a strong believer in not quilt judging, in not condemning people or making people feel bad because they feel like their quilt didn't turn out perfect. But the reality is that's kind of our goal, is to make everything work. So I'm going to go to the cutting table here right in front of me, and you're going to see me use some tools that we have available to you, and some of this may be an aha moment. Some of you may go, oh, I've done that, but what if we did it this way? If you've got a really good idea on how to make half square triangles, put it in the comments, because we want to hear what you have to say about how you make half square triangles. So let's go to the table and let me show you what we're going to make. Okay, so I'm at my cutting mat, and this is, oh gosh, I had one of these back in the dark ages. I didn't know these still exist. But anyway, we're working in the back room. And so here is your classic half square triangle right here, where you have two pieces of fabric that have been sewn together. And there is your half square triangle. Now this hasn't even been pressed yet, but you're going to press it usually to the dark side or open, and therein lies a whole nother discussion. Well, that'll be another topic another day. If you press it open, then that gives you your half square triangle. And that's the goal. That's what I want. I want a half square triangle. I want this one actually measures 3 inches, and I use this lovely little tool from Quilter Select. I have this 5.5 inch rule. I have 3 of these, I think, because I use it all the time. But to square it up, I'm going to put that diagonal on there, and I'm going to measure it to see that it measures what I want. Actually, we'll put it on the 3-inch side here. There's my 3 inches. Da, 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 da. Okay, there's 3 inches, and it comes, I run that diagonal, and then I can trim these pieces off. This is typically how I do it. Just chop that little piece off there. I have a rotating mat, which I love. And I'm going to take this piece off over here, and now I've got my 3-inch square. Okay, so this is the goal. This is what we want to make. So how do we make it? Typically, we see people drawing a line. You take your 2 pieces of square, right sides together. You draw a line down the middle. Doesn't matter what you use. I can use just a standard ink pen if I want to, but draw a line down the middle, because it's on the back. That's my cut line, and I want to sew a 1/4 inch out on either side of that line. So 1/4 inch there and a 1/4 inch there. Now let me say a little bit about 1/4 inch seams. When you fold your fabric to the side, like I have with this one, you lose a little bit of the size of your square because of the fold. Now if I press open, I don't lose that because the fabric settles into itself, and so I don't have to do what's called a scant quarter. But if I'm pressing to one side, I need to do a scant quarter. That's just a given. The other times you need to do a scant quarter is depending on the thread weight you use. When I was at Motivation last week, or a couple weeks ago, we had a whole discussion about thread weight and how important the thread weight is on the thickness of your seams when you fold. So we typically use Aurifil thread in here because it's very fine, and that takes up less space. But when I'm turning a fold like that, I want that to be a very scant quarter so that I don't lose in this fold here any of my fabric. But you can see there's a little bit of fabric gets lost in that fold. So that's why you do a scant quarter. So Okay, that's your discussion about that. So I draw my line across here and I sew a 1/4 inch on either side. Now there's a couple ways I can do that. I can draw the line and just put it under my presser foot, sew a 1/4 inch. Then on the other side, I sew a 1/4 inch. The thing I like to use is this diagonal seam tape. I can put this on my sewing machine, and there's a whole nother story about that I think we have that on a video too, but I can use this on my sewing machine. You see that red line down the center of that? Does it show through the plastic? Okay. So there's a red line on the center, and the black lines on either side are a 1/4 inch. I line the red line up with the needle on my sewing machine, and this is a piece of tape, and I just peel it off and put it on my sewing machine so that it lines up. And then I don't have to draw the line. All I have to do is put the edge of the fabric on that black line, and that way I sew a 1/4 inch and a 1/4 inch. So this is a great product. I love the diagonal seam tape. Matter of fact, this one's going home with me because I've gone through a whole roll. It's like washi tape, so it lifts up and puts back on, and it's wonderful. But it saves me having to draw the line. But I think this is kind of the method everybody started with making half square triangles. Draw a line, sew a 1/4 inch on each side. When you open it up, then you have this, okay? That's one way. Another way is to sew a square. So this is a square, two right sides together, and I'm going to cut, and I don't have a ruler that long. Oh yeah, maybe I do. I'm going to cut across this way, and so I've sewn a 1/4 inch all the way around that square, and I'm going to cut this way. Get those close enough together that I don't lose my square. Okay, and now I've made a half square triangle. Now, again, I can square that up to get the size that I want it to be, 3-inch square. I started with a 5-inch square, and it's giving me a nice 3-inch square, okay? So this was a 5-inch square. Perfect. There you go. So that's one way to make them. Another way is you can sew a strip together. So I have 2 strips here. This is just a 2.5 inch strips of fabric. And this is another tool. It's this will do actually a 1/4 square triangle and a half square triangle. So this is one of a Creative Grids ruler that I really, really like. But what I do with this one is I place the fabric on my line here, and when I cut this strip, I can't hardly see it, but I've sewn on this side and this side a 1/4 inch. And now I place this on my fabric right there, and I cut. And then that opens up this seam on that side, makes this one, and then I turn it and I cut again. And I'm putting the tip on the sew line. And I cut, and there you go. So that's another way. You can do strip piecing and make your half square triangles. Now, if that confuses you or makes it hard, the other thing you can do is foundation paper piecing. These Thangles are awesome. We sell these in all different sizes. This is your finished size of your 3.5 inch square triangle. So that's finished. So this is going to come out bigger than that when you sew it, because when you finish it, it ends up being 3.5. But there's Thangles. They do that. It's just a strip of paper you sew your fabric on. It's like foundation paper piecing, and that's how these go. The other thing is cake mix. These are cake mix recipes. These make half square triangles, and they come with all kinds of ways to lay them out. And it's just a sheet, and you're basically doing what I showed you on this one. See, there's your cutting line, and there's your 1/4 inch stitching line on either side. So you're going to lay your fabric on here, and you're going to sew with this. This also makes squares, but there's books of this that does nothing but half square triangles if you like foundation paper piecing. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about a little bit is when you are making half square triangles, and here's just a chart. Y'all stop the picture and make a picture of this if you want. But when you're making, if you want a finished block, the unfinished block, and the cutting square, if I cut a 3-inch square, I'm going to end up with a 2-inch finished block. So it's really a quick math problem, but this is a great way to know, okay, I need a 7-inch finished. I'm going to cut 8 inch. It's going to be a 7.5 unfinished, and that's what I'm going to get when I'm done. So that's helpful to know how to cut them. And then the other thing I want to talk about is when you're sewing your half square triangles or you're sewing any piece of fabric, it's real easy to get down to the very end of your stitching and have the fabric shift under your sewing machine. So, you know, I'm sewing, and I get to the end, and this little part wants to wiggle out of the way, and I end up at this part sometimes is narrower or wider because it's shifted at my sewing machine. That's why you want one of these stylists. This is the By Annie stylus. I love this one. It's one of my absolute favorites. It's also got a pressing little finger press on the bottom here. I can just do this and it'll press that out. It's amazing how well this works. When I go to a retreat, a lot of times I will take and just do finger press because invariably they can only have one iron and there's 40 people wanting to use it. And that will press that enough that I can use it. So love this little stiletto. I use it all the time, but it will help you get a more accurate 1/4 inch seam because when you're sewing, you can push your fabric through and you can get it all the way through to the presser foot without it slip sliding away. The other thing is this purple thing. Y'all have seen the purple thing. Same process. It's a little bendy though. It's a little more flexible. I like this because it's firmer. So that's your quick tips and tricks with 1/4 square or with half square triangles. And if that's not how you make them, tell me how you make your half square triangles, because there's no wrong way as long as you get it done, right? That's what we care about, because a done quilt is better than a perfect quilt, and that's what we want all day long. So here's some options, some different ways I showed you to make them. I hope you've learned a little something today, and we're also going to show you some fabric and stuff on the sales floor, so stay tuned. So hey guys, I'm out on the sales floor and we have some fabric that's actually been
Let me show them the cutting counter.
Oh yeah, show them the cutting counter. Look at this. It's Indiana Quilters. It's the all Indiana shop hop. And we've got people coming in and just having a big time. Shopping. So yeah, there's a whole project being put together. They're making a little carry-all bag and so they're having to get the fabric for that. It was fun to help them pick it out. So I am on the sales floor and I have fabric that's just come out. Now this is Andover. It's what we used, if you watched our Sparkle Society series, we did a series called Sparkle Society using a Sarah Maxwell book that she wrote that was great. But these fabrics are what was used for those quilts. Now some of these we've really thinned the bolts down, and you know when you buy a bolt and you finish the bolt, you get 20% off if it's less than 3 yards, and you get 30% if it's 3 yards or more. Paige is hiding. He's going to get her picture. But I wanted you to see these fabric because these are great blenders. I mean, these are awesome blenders. And they're great basics. This is one of those that I would get, you know, gosh, a half yard of just about every color that is in my colorway that I use a lot, because there's so many. Like this one, I need this one. I need these pink ones. The greens are just luscious. And there's a nice little texture to them. So I think these are really, really, really good. And then look at all these neutral beiges. Sometimes it's really hard to find a good neutral beige to have in your collection, but this is that great stash piece you're going to want to go to all the time. And the hand on this quilt is really nice fabric. It's got a good hand to it. So this goes somewhere else. This is somebody else's fabric. Doesn't belong there. Okay, well, we'll carry it around and put it away. But anyway, love this Andover fabric. The Andover company is one we've not had a lot of fabric from, but we've been getting more from Andover, and I really like it. It's got a nice hand to it, and great colors, great color saturation. So this would be really good in your quilts. And then right behind you, Peter, is where we're going next. I know it seems early to be thinking about the holidays, but fall and Halloween will be here before you know it, and you want that perfect table runner for your Thanksgiving dinner or get ready for trick-or-treat time with your kids. Paige can't go anywhere because she's going to get trapped in a picture. Look at this little girl. Look at this little. Now there's a scarecrow somewhere. I wonder where the scarecrow went. But look how sweet this is. This little gal. She's a little witch. This is by Stacy Eastjew, who I got to hang out with when I was at Motivation. And she's the funnest person. Her design inspiration comes from being a mom and being in the industry in a way that she wanted to make a difference for kids. So this is the most whimsical, fun little pattern of fabric. It's got some fun little haunted things. It's got a neat colorway. I love this. Isn't this fun? So it's a little scary, but it's not like, oh my gosh, I'm afraid. The black cats are really cute. Look at this is just a pretty piece. It's got little spider webs on it. I imagine Pam has a hard time. She didn't like spiders at all. So that's just a fun line. Look at these boo ghosts. Look at this fun ghost. So if you're looking to do a table runner or maybe even just a haunted Halloween quilt, a door hanging, there is the panel that makes this little gal, and then there's this one, and this would be a real quick and easy, throw a piece of something on the back and it'd be a quick quilt, or treat bags. This would be perfect for treat bags. Cut those squares up and sew them together and make a treat bag. You could give everybody a treat bag. So we don't do a lot of Halloween just because you guys don't really buy a lot of Halloween, but it is a holiday that's really getting more notoriety, so we try to carry a little bit of stuff in here. So there is a pattern here, Spooked Spells. Let me show you that using the panel I just showed you. Super cute. It's only a 63 by 63 quilt, so again, this would be great to hang on the wall for the holiday, or even as a lap quilt to give to somebody. You got somebody in a nursing home and you want to give them something special to have for the holiday, that would be fun for that. The other thing that we have is this line. This one is from Benartex, and it's called Harvest Beginnings. And this one, we have shown it to you a while back, but it's so pretty, and with talking about the fall season, I don't want you to miss any opportunity to have some fun making some fun stuff for the fall. We also have some really fun little layer cakes, so if you're thinking Halloween, here's some layer cakes, and there's some jelly rolls in that one too. Historic Halloween with Judy Rothermel. There's a Frankenstein. I know, it's not even 4th of July, and I'm talking about fall stuff. I love this pattern. I think that little Frankenstein is as cute as he can be. And then there's a few more fall pieces down there. So if you're thinking in terms of what am I going to do for the fall, here's some ideas for that to make that happen. There's some more right here. Look at these fall fabrics. This one just, oh, I love the colorway in that. Look how pretty that is. It's a soft teal and oranges. Look at this for a door panel. Wouldn't that be perfect to hang on your door for the holiday? Love that. And these have some great basics. Look at this with the little swirl on it. That's a pretty color. Some navy, teal. I love that the holidays don't just have orange and brown in them now. They're bringing some other colors. Let me hold this up so they can really see it. Look how pretty this is. There's the blocks. So I see placemat, table runner. Placemat, table runner would be easy. And then the other one was here, and this one would be the door hanger. Or you could even hang it up in like on your dining room window, dining room wall. Isn't that fun with the little chickadee on top? How sweet is that? Okay, perfect. Now we're going to go back to the yarn department because I want to show you some new yarn that came in. So you're getting a little bit of what's new, and then we're going to talk about last week's YouTube video and the response you gave all those questions. Lots of questions, and we're going to get you some answers. So let's go back to yarn. All right, I'm back in our yarn department now, which is in the back of the store. So if you come in the front door, or even if you look at the front of the store, it looks kind of narrow. It's long way back here. So I'm all the way in the back, right next to our clearance room. If you've not been to our clearance room, it's yummy. You want to be sure you stop in there because we have everything from every department does go to the clearance room at some point. So be sure to nib around in there. But what I wanted to show you today was this really yummy, because it's yummy. Look, it's called Yummy. This is from the King Cole Company, and this is chenille. And chenille yarn has just kind of gone bananas because everybody's making these amigurumi little things, and that's the kind of yarn you need to make them. So we have two different companies now that we have got available here. We've got the Yummy yarn from the King Cole Company, and we have, oh, come on, Mr. Unicorn. And then we have the Premier Basics, which are also chenille yarn. So if you're looking for chenille, oh, and there's this one. I forgot about this one. This one is called Toasty, Warm and Toasty. It's Touch-O-Vision. You know, you need the touch of vision.
Yeah, you can make a whole blanket with that.
You could, and that's what I think these would be really fun, and it would be fun to put them together. So if you would, like do the purple and orange, or the pink and the purple, or the green and the yellow, the white, the orange and you just put them all together how you want. But these would make great baby blankets too. So if you're thinking in terms of baby blankets or the amigurumi projects, even a sweater. I've never made a sweater out of chenille, but it might be kind of cool. It'd be warm, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
that'd be fun. You'd have
cozy.
to use the right size, but anyway, so those are the new yarns in that. If you're looking for chenille, if you want to make these amigurumi projects, we do have kits, but we also have Kayla Danforth, who teaches crochet classes. Usually they're on Wednesday night or Saturday. You can check our class list to see when those are available, and she's got an opportunity for you to come, and she helps you learn and begin the basics of crochet. I know a lot of you are interested in crochet. It's definitely taken off. Peter's working on a big crochet project right now. He's making a beautiful sweater kind of tunic, or not tunic, well, I don't know what to call it, but anyway, for his wife. It's a real pretty
crochet. It's like a
long jacket.
Lace. Yeah, it's a lace cardigan.
Yeah, cardigan.
Sleeveless cardigan.
That's it. It's really, really pretty. So we'll have to get a peek at that. But this is what we have in chenille, and it's going crazy. Y'all are buying it like crazy, so we're excited to carry it for you. You've also seen the video Maggie did about our paint by number and our kits. Oh my goodness, I did one of those paint by numbers, and I had so much fun. I really had a good time. It was very peaceful, just kind of like coloring. I just did it, and it was very relaxing. So we are bringing stuff in to try and hit that Big J store that closed. Y'all know that you're looking for fabric, you're looking for kits, you're looking for notions and yarn and things like that. We want to be your shop. We want to be your shop. Whether you've used to shopping in a big box store, or whether you have been into us before, we want you either way. I think it's been hard for a lot of people to lose those big box stores because they are important to your shopping experience. But come in here and meet us. Come in here and let us greet you and share with you all the things that we know. I think you'll find a more personal, interactive experience here than you get at the big box stores. As far as pricing goes, we have our clearance room. I know a lot of you are budget conscious. We brought in some of these different yarns a little lesser price so we can meet your needs, as well as what the big box stores did, except you get us, and that's even more fun. So I'm also going to give away this little charm pack, but we're going to check the YouTube channel, because if you're watching our last week's video that we did about coming home from motivation, you all asked some really good questions. I asked, what would you want to ask the Moda Company? Your questions were so difficult for me, I couldn't begin to answer them. I have reached out to Lisa Alexander at the Moda Company, who does their marketing, and she's going to be responding to the answers to your questions. So hold tight. If you're watching and go, well, they didn't answer my question yet, you're right. I'm going to Moda to get those answers. So we'll have those answers. They may show up in the replies on there. Matter of fact, I know we'll reply to that last week video. So if you didn't watch last week's Coming Home from Motivation video, watch that one too, because there's a lot of interesting stuff there. They asked some really fair questions, and we're going to pick a winner for this. So let me go look at those postings, and we'll pick a winner, and we'll be right back. Okay, we came back and watched the YouTube, went through all the YouTube comments. You guys had some really good questions, and my apologies for my corner of the world back here. We had a little water leak problem in my corner and had to fix it. So my office is upside down, but that's okay. I worked well under pressure. So we picked a winner, and it's Melissa Makes Quilts. She had a really good question. Does Moda have a request page if we have ideas and colors and images we wish we could have on fabric? I love that question. And I see at the very beginning of our comments, we have already received a comment from the Moda Company saying, hey, we really loved having you guys there. So that's kind of cool. I'm excited that they're watching our video, and that tells me that they're going to answer your questions. So we'll have answers for you on those questions. But meanwhile, this little Sunbonnet Sue from Heather Briggs' My So Quilty Life belongs to you, Melissa Makes Quilts. So we'll put this in our orders department when you come in, if you can come in, or if you can't come in, you can email orders at alwaysinstitches1.com, and she will mail it to you. But thanks for playing along and watching, and stay tuned, because we're going to have more videos coming. Y'all have requested. We're going to keep it up. We're back to doing videos every week, and thank you so much for your support and letting us know what you want. We're going to try and meet that for you, and each week we'll do a little fun tip or trick and just show you some of the stuff hanging out in the shop. So I hope you're having a great stitchy day, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye bye.